Hey, what's up guys? Today's video is going to be 10 updates that Rockstar has teased but never released. There's actually been quite a few updates that Rockstar has hinted or straight up told us were coming and we've never heard about since. You guys might be quite surprised to see how much content has actually been hinted at coming and we've never seen. Feel free to let me know down in the comments which update you guys would like to see most added to the game. Alright, so let's get started with this one. First up is the Lawman Role. Now, I am confident the Lawman Role has spent considerable time in development, and the reason being the Lawman was first teased all the way back in May 2019, it was then teased again in September 2019, and then again in 2020, Rockstar actually confirmed on their newswire that we'd be getting multiple new roles in 2020, and even hyperlinked their article where they talked about the two new roles they were working on, which were the Photographer and the Lawman. Now we know the Photographer role eventually became the Naturalist, but what happened to that Lawman role? I know 2020 was a rough year with the pandemic, but GTA had some of its largest updates developed during this time, and Red Dead Online just seemed to have updates disappear during this time. Rockstar said in one of their interviews with Fiji 24/7 that utilising the bounty system, the honour system, and tying that to roles in the future where the player could be a villain, could join a gang, you know, or decide to take the side of a lawman if we did something like that. We love the idea that at some point a highly ranked bounty hunter could become a lawman. So far the roles have touched on a few of those ideas, but there's a lot more to do. Now guys, the honour system in Red Dead Online is still very broken and uneven. Even with the bounty hunter expansion and this new crime DLC, the honour system still just doesn't really work as intended. You can feed your horse a carrot and it will completely forgive you for shooting up a whole city. Next up are communal spaces. Now Rockstar hinted at this one in February of 2020 in an interview with Polygon when they spoke with Tariq Hamid, who is an associate online producer at Rockstar. And he said some of the roles would let us introduce more feature-rich businesses and even communal spaces that players can gather and meet up socially, lone wolves and full posses. Maybe even let each player own part of such a space. Obviously this sounds very similar to the casino update that was a huge success for GT Online, where you could have a communal space there to meet up with players and also own a penthouse in that casino. And it makes me wonder what happened to this communal space that was supposed to be developed for Red Dead Online. Was it repurposed into GT Online with the most recent Los Santos Tuners update that introduced another communal space into GT Online? That's right, they have two of them now. What happened to ours, Rockstar? Next up is the Collector Role expansion, also hinted at in February of 2020 by Katie Pico, who is the lead online production associate at Rockstar Games. And she said, "We'd love to keep adding new collections and additional variety to collector gameplay, eventually adding the next step, much in the same way that the Moonshiner is the evolution of the Trader role. One idea we really want to explore is the idea of posse members, each finding distinctly different parts of an item, and then when brought together forms the collectible that you can log in your collection." Now all we've really had since this statement from Rockstar is the additional variety, which was in the form of a nerf, making a lot of the high value collector sets like the coins, the arrowheads, become random chances. So instead of having 100% odds for each coin, you would have 2% odds for some of the rare ones, making them a much slower money making method. But yeah, we've still to actually see any kind of extension or expansion for that collector role. At the number 4 spot are properties. This was also hinted at back in February of 2020. Guys, Rockstar started 2020 with such an ambitious start. They hinted at a lot of future content and updates, and it just made me wonder what actually happened in 2020 other than the pandemic for Red Dead Online to lose a lot of this content, because obviously GT Online continued to have some of its biggest updates ever developed in 2020. So what happened to Red Dead Online? We were told property owners have more to look forward to as well. You guys might remember there were 8 different properties found within the game files of Red Dead Online by data miners. I reported on this quite some time ago. Now these property deeds range from shacks, farm lodges, and even a Saint Denis mansion with values attached going up to 600 gold bars for that mansion. Now that sounded pretty ridiculous at the time, but with 52 gold bar outfits now in the game, it's not looking like too bad of a deal these days. Next up are fight clubs. These were hinted at by Scott Butcherd, who is the world and content designer at Rockstar Games, during an interview with Oz Gamers in November 2020. And he said, "Before we created the roles, the emergence of a fight club subculture was a very cool thing to me. It wasn't so much weird as a surprise, it really showed players were into that social vibe in a controlled way, and it's something that we'd like to acknowledge in the future. And yeah, we're still kind of waiting for any update regarding fight clubs or any kind of melee combat. Guys, if you are enjoying the video so far, please take a few seconds to leave it a like and also subscribe to my YouTube channel so you don't miss out on any future breaking Red Dead news. And if you're interested in being a creator yourself, check out my new book on Amazon. Alright, moving on to the fishing role, which was hinted at in 2020. The fishing role is probably one of those roles where you just hate it or love it. Personally, I'm not a big fan of fishing. It was something I did in the beta days when there was nothing else to do in the game. But Rockstar said, I'm also a big fan of the fishing in the game, and I feel there could be scope to expand on that in the same way we did with the hunting. By opening up these specialist roles, we've created multiple pathways for the game to go forward from here with something for everyone. This has also been backed up by some game file findings. People have found some legendary fish, some Harriet voice lines relating to legendary fish in the game, so perhaps this could have been cut content from the Naturalist role or saved for some kind of future DLC. Up next is photography. Rockstar have confirmed they will be integrating it into existing roles in future updates. Yeah, Rockstar have definitely been pushing a lot of photography content in the Outlaw passes and now Quick Draw passes, which is quite surprising since the photography community does seem like quite a small niche community. At the number 8 spot is a storefront or mining business. This was hinted at back in 2019 in multiple interviews when Rockstar had very ambitious plans for Red Dead Online. They discussed having storefronts, businesses, even owning a railway or mine. Next up is an expansion of the Naturalist role, and if you think we've already had too much hunting content and updates in the game, well, it looks like there is more to come, as Rockstar in the past year have made multiple references to more expansions on this. They said Harriet and Gus weren't just disposable characters, they wanted to be real people who could exist in the real world, and they may be featured in future content as well. In a separate interview, they again said, although more legendary animals have continued to be introduced in recent months as part of the drip feed for the Naturalist update, it could be expanded soon. Gus's point of view totally clashes with Harriet's and offers players other possibilities and material rewards. The two are great characters that could really exist in this world, and yes, there are chances that they will show up again in the future. And last but not least are heists. These were actually discussed with a French outlet just last year, and Rockstar said we are constantly thinking about how to integrate large-scale heists and heists into the world of Red Dead Online. For now, our focus is on building the world as well as developing the careers and pathways for players to embark on. As roles evolve over time, players may need to develop their criminal careers and participate or organize large-scale actions such as heists. Now, looking back on this quote now, I really hope that the heists and criminal careers that Rockstar discussed haven't been watered down to the extent of the Blood Money update. I really hope the heists they initially imagined and discussed for this game haven't become the most recent update we had into the game, because those crimes and those opportunity missions are nowhere near the level that the heists are in GTA Online. The crimes and opportunities have almost no replay value like the heists do in GTA Online. But yeah, that was all 10 updates that Rockstar have teased but never released. Do let me know down in the comments section below, out of everything we talked about, which one you guys would like to see most in the game. If you watched this to the end, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.